It was a crisp autumn evening in Fort Collins, Colorado, when I pulled my old sedan up to the curb on Maple Avenue, the engine ticking like a countdown I couldn't ignore. 3 years. That's how long they'd let the world believe I was gone, wiped out in a car crash that left me in a coma. Not a coffin. But I wasn't dead. Not even close. My name is Sarah Locke, and I'd spent those years piecing myself back together in a quiet rehab center upstate, fighting through the fog of amnesia and broken bones. All while the people who were supposed to love me rewrote my story. No one called. No one checked. And now, here I was, unannounced, staring at the house that used to be mine. The picket fence gleamed under the streetlights, mocking me with its perfection. I hadn't planned to stop. But grief has a way of steering the wheel when your hands go numb. The garage light flickered on, spilling a harsh glow under the door, a light we never left burning back when this was our home. My daughter, Zoe, used to beg me to read her one more story, her laughter bouncing off these walls like sunlight. Now, at 10:17 p.m., something pulled me across the street, my boots crunching on fallen leaves that sounded too loud in the still night. I froze at the driveway's edge, heart pounding. When I heard it, a tiny, muffled sob. My arm hurts. Her voice. Zoe's voice. It sliced through me like a dull knife, twisting slow. Without thinking, I gripped the garage handle and yanked it up. The door groaned in protest. And there she was, my 8-year-old, huddled on a crumpled cardboard box, clutching her arm. Her face streaked with silent tears. Her hair was longer, tangled. And her eyes. They didn't sparkle anymore. They just stared, wide and wary, like she'd learned to expect the worst. "Zoe," I whispered, my voice cracking like old glass. She blinked, lips quivering. "Mom? They said you didn't make it." I knelt beside her, careful, so careful not to spook her further. Her flinch when I reached out, it gutted me. "I'm here, sweetheart. What happened? Why are you out here alone?" Before she could answer, the door to the house swung open, and there stood Aria, my ex-wife, wine glass in hand, leaning against the frame like this was some casual interruption. "Oh, she's just throwing a fit again," Aria said, her voice smooth as silk but sharp underneath. "You know kids, always craving the spotlight." Aria hadn't changed, still that poised, unflappable exterior. The one that won her the custody battle 3 years ago when the courts bought her story of my instability. But now, seeing her dismiss our daughter like a nuisance, something in me shifted. This wasn't drama. This was deliberate. I stood, positioning myself between them. "She's hurt, Aria. This isn't a tantrum." She smirked. That familiar tilt of her lips that always made you question your own sanity. "I told her to cool off out here. You're overreacting. As usual." "Sarah." The words hung heavy, laced with the old gaslighting that had eroded our marriage. I wanted to scream, to shatter that wine glass against the wall. But instead, I pulled out my phone, the one still linked to the old security app from our shared account. The footage loaded slow. But there it was, the camera manually disabled 18 days ago. Not broken. Intentional. "You turned it off," I muttered. Eyes locked on the screen. Aria didn't flinch. Just sipped her wine and turned away. Back with Zoe. I knelt again, her small hands gripping my sleeve like a lifeline. "I missed you," she whispered. That was my breaking point, the quiet admission that fueled the fire I'd buried for years. We didn't stay. I scooped her up gently, ignoring the twinge in her arm, and walked her to my car. Aria watched from the window, smirking over her glass, as if this was all part of her script. But as I drove away, Zoe's grip on my hand tightened. And I knew this wasn't just about custody anymore. This was about unraveling the web of lies they'd spun while I was dead. We ended up at a dingy motel on the outskirts of town. Paid in cash under a fake name. Zoe sat on the bed's edge, silent. As I turned on the bathroom light, she gasped, tensing like a coiled spring. Yellow light means be quiet, she murmured, eyes downcast. It hit me then, the conditioning. The twisted associations they'd drilled into her. Warmth turned to warning. I jotted it down on my phone. Trigger, yellow suppression. Kids don't invent that. They endure it. That night, while she slept clutching a worn stuffed rabbit I'd never seen before, I unset a loose stitch on its ear. Inside, a crumpled note in childish scrawl, "Don't tell or garage again." My hand shook. This wasn't neglect. This was control. Systematic and soul-crushing. I snapped a photo, time-stamped it, and dialed Aria on a burner phone. She answered with that syrupy laugh. Back already? She's always been a storyteller. I stayed calm. I know what you've done. Silence. Then click. No rage from me, not yet. Rage needs evidence. And I was building mine. Dawn broke. And I drove Zoe to an urgent care clinic that didn't pry too deep. The doctor examined her arm. His face grim. This fracture's at least a week old. Healing wrong. And the bruises. Repeated trauma. I nodded. Jaw tight. Home should be safe, I whispered as we left. But for her, it was a cage. Back at the motel, a car idled across the lot. Lights off. Paranoia? Maybe. But I locked us in. Set up a cheap webcam on the door. Zoe didn't question it. She'd learned not to. The next day, I visited our old neighbor, Clara Hayes, the one who'd baked cookies for Zoe's birthdays. She opened the door, gasped. Sarah? We thought you. The crash. Her voice trailed off. They grieved you. Erased. That's what it was, soul erasure. I drove back, murmuring to myself. They mourned me while I fought to breathe. At the motel, Zoe spilled a cup of water by accident. She froze, eyes wide. You're not mad. The question lingered like smoke. A remnant of the fear they'd instilled. No child should apologize for existing. I couldn't sleep. Instead, I emailed Child Protective Services anonymously, attaching the note's photo, the doctor's report. Then I called an old friend in school counseling. Any reports on Zoe last year? Hesitation. Then, flagged for bruises. But it got buried. Said it was accidents. Invisibility arranged. That evening, Zoe screamed in her sleep, "Don't lock me." I held her, promising safety. But inside, the damning pressure built. I bought a hidden camera necklace for her, just in case. Wear this. Okay, it's our secret. She nodded, trusting in a way that broke me further. The threat started subtle. A text from an unknown number. You started something you can't finish. I ignored it. Focused on the custody files my lawyer, Mara Ellis, pulled. Buried in them, a forged psych eval with my signature claiming I was unfit. Shaky. Wrong slant, I'd know. I'd signed enough contracts in my old marketing job. They didn't just win custody, I told Mara. They rigged the game. She nodded, eyes steely. We'll expose it. That night, I recorded voice memos, my truth. Unfiltered. Zoe watched cartoons quietly, glancing over like she sensed the storm brewing. We moved to a safe house apartment in Loveland, courtesy of a women's advocacy group. Zoe picked a notebook with stars on the cover. For what you couldn't say, I told her. She wrote in it that night. Silent. A knock came late, manila envelope on the doorstep. Inside, old garage footage from the crash night. Arya entering. Scratching her own arm. Staging abuse for court. My ICU stay used against me. I scanned it all. Backed it up thrice. Sent it to Arya with no words. Her call came fast. War it is. I replied. I already bled out. Your turn. The pattern emerged. Digging online. I found Aaron Carter, Arya's partner. The quiet man Zoe whispered about. A 2015 case in Boulder. Similar abuse. Mother recanted. No charges. He's practiced, I murmured. Forwarding to Mara. Then Clara texted, a photo from a CPS visit 3 years back. Arya with a different child borrowed. Posed. Rehearsed deception. I sent it to a journalist. Layla Reid. Known for gutting family court scandals. Dig, I said. There's rot here. Zoe asked one evening. Are we safe? Not yet. I thought. But said. They're not either. Mara warned of counterclaims, kidnapping accusations. I weaponized truth, documents. Timestamps. Witnesses. After dinner. Zoe curled in my lap. Why didn't you come back sooner? Because they convinced everyone I didn't deserve you. Her grip tightened. A blocked call, Arya's voice. I see. Part-time mom to obsessed stalker. I hit record. You cast a monster as parent. Click. An email arrived, attachment. Zoe's drawing from months ago. Her behind bars. Please let me out to the real mom. I printed it. Met Arya at a cafe with Mara. Placed it down. Not art. Evidence. She smirked. Crayons won't win courts. I leaned in. But her voice will. She left. Untouched latte mocking us. Then the breakthrough, an old CPS drive with video, 17 seconds of Aaron dragging Zoe. Arya watching. Violence in HD. We filed emergency injunction. Freeze their rights. Back home. Zoe asked. Do I tell the judge? Yes. Honey. You do. Layla's article hit. Erased mother fights back. It spread. Voices rising, survivors sharing. Zoe whispered. Not alone. CPS meeting next, their lawyer minimized. I interrupted. She bled. You called it nothing. Silence screamed. Emergency hearing set. 48 hours. Then the nightmare. Phone buzzed. I have what belongs to you. Zoe's bed empty. Window ajar. Panic clawed up my throat. I tore through the room. Found a note in the trash. Please, new school. Home hurts. Her iPad in the car. Video confession. He says if I talk, she'll go away. I want real mom. I rushed to CPS. Precinct. Protocol, they droned. She won't survive it. Mara pushed. Emergency review. Brown envelope delivered. Therapist report on Zoe, gaslighting effects. Compartmentalization. Every silenced child. Then email, shed on Pine Drive. No cops. I drove. Heart hammering. Shed creaked open, humming. Broken. Zoe on a sleeping bag. Cold. Still. Drawing scattered, her with quiet man, me far away as real mom. I carried her out. To sheriffs, not compromised city police. Uploaded all, voicemails. GPS. Drawings. Videos. Hearing granted. I testified. Played her confession. Showed reports. CPS backed removal. Judge, apology and future owed. Outside. Message, still have yours. Motel, bag with shredded photos, our memories. USB labeled truth. Mara, court handles. Layla's second piece, shed unlocks systemic fail. Viral outrage. Subpoena hit, endangerment. Tampering charges. Distorted voicemail, she wasn't supposed to return. Now I never let go. But in our new apartment. Zoe slept without flinching. Hearing day, she testified privately. Judge quoted, waited. Scared to lose her. Custody granted. Rights terminated. Sentencing, Aaron, 12 years. Aria, stripped rights. No contact. Her twitch. Unspoken words I ignored. Focused on Zoe. Statement, not reliving pain. Reminding what you forgot. Viral footage. Layla's third, reckoning. Zoe's school, her name. Clear. She volunteered good things daily. I helped other mothers. Garden bloomed. Walls yellow, now light. Not silence. Dog echo barked joy. One day. Back to garage. Hammered door down. Chalked, Zoe free. Lake picnic, tell story later? If you want. Own the ending. Name's no secret. We outlived louder.